And what time is the meeting starting, Batuna?
Good morning, honorable members. It is now 8:30, the scheduled time for the meeting to start, and allow me the opportunity to welcome all of you
Recording in progress.
to this meeting. The speaker, unfortunately, is still in transit. She was traveling to one of the neighboring countries, and that is why she's not here today. Can we fly the agenda, please? Honorable members, the agenda is in front of us. Are there any apologies?
I have received no apology, House Chair, on my side.
Apart from the speaker?
Then apart from the speaker, yes.
Yes. Are there any other apologies, honorable members? Honorable Dlakude?
Morning, Honorable House Chairperson. Good morning, colleagues. I have an apology of the Chief Whip, the ANC Chief Whip. Thank you very much.
Honorable Ntlangwini?
Morning, House Chair. I have an apology of the Chief Whip of the EFF. Thank you.
Thank you. There's no further indications of apologies. So we move to the consideration of the agenda. Honorable members, the agenda has been distributed and it's in front of us. And I'll put the agenda forward for consideration. Is there a member who wants to move for the adoption of the agenda?
I move, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable
Ghana.
Is there a seconder?
Second that proposal.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Cameron Duckmore. We move to item 3 on the agenda, which is the report from the committee section. I now hand over to the person responsible to take us through the report.
Thank you, House Chairperson or Chairperson of the committee, and good morning to you and members and to our colleagues as well. I will be presenting the report of the committee section on bills and other matters before committees. If we move to slide number 2, slide number 2 reflects that we have 23 bills before NA committees at the moment. We also have...
It's not moving on my side, Chair.
Yes, I think Dr. Twala just started. Dr. Twala, just make sure that as you go through the presentation that you change the slides, please.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think Jerome is moving the slides, Chair. So I'm actually on slide number 2, which reflects the number of bills before committees. Currently, we have 23 bills before NA committees, and we have 6 statutory appointments and 14 petitions before committees. The next slide is slide number 4. Slide number 4, we're reflecting an ESCOM debt relief amendment bill that was recently referred to the Standing Committee on Appropriations. The committee still needs to schedule that particular bill. Moving to slide number 6. Slide number 6 is a new bill before the PC on COPTA, the Municipal Structures Second Amendment Bill. The committee is still to schedule as well. Slide number 7. Slide number 7, it's a bill before PC on Finance. That is the Public Sector Pension and Related Pensions Bill. The committee is still to schedule that particular bill. And slide number 8 is the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill before the PC on Finance. Finance is still to schedule that particular bill as well. We move to slide number 19. Slide number 19, it is the RICA bill before PC on Justice. And we're noting that a presentation by of the legal opinion by the Legal Services Unit of Parliament was done on the 5th of March 2025, and the committee resolved to request the Speaker to write to the President and request clarification on the reservations on the constitutionality of that particular bill. Slide number 20. Slide number 20 refers to the Judicial Matters Amendment Bill before PC on Justice. The committee is still to schedule that bill as well. We move to slide number 30. Slide number 30, 31 and 32, Chairperson, actually looks at the processing of the budget by the standing committees on finance and appropriations. On the 18th of March, which is last week, those two committees received a briefing by the Parliamentary Budget Office and the Financial and Fiscal Commission on the budget of 2025. The following day, on the 19th, they received briefing by the National Treasury on the 2025 Division of Revenue Bill. Also, the briefing by the GTAC and Public Finance Unit on the spending reviews conducted during the past 5 financial years, inclusive of suggestions around budget cuts and savings for national departments. On the 25th of March, they had public hearings on the fiscal framework and revenue proposals. Slide number 31, it's a continuation of the processing of budget. On the 25th of March 2025, there was briefing by the Financial and Fiscal Commission on the 2025 Division of Revenue Bill. On the 26th of March, there was briefing by the Parliamentary Budget Office on the 2025 Division of Revenue Bill. On the 28th, which is tomorrow, the committee will get responses by National Treasury and SARS to the submissions received on the fiscal framework and revenue proposals. Also received briefings by SALGA and COPTA on the 2025 Division of Revenue Bill. Slide number 32. On the 1st of April, there will be a consideration and adoption of the committee report on the fiscal framework and revenue proposals. On the same day, they will have public hearings on the 2025 Division of Revenue Bill. And on the 8th of April, the committee will consider and adopt the draft report on the 2025 Division of Revenue Bill. The next slide is slide number 34. Slide number 34 relates to statutory appointments. This one is before the PC on Communications and Digital Technologies. The committee has advertised on the 19th of March 2025, and the closing date is on the 11th of April 2025, and the committee will schedule further. The next slide is slide number 35. Slide number 35 relates to the appointment of the Deputy Public Protector, work done by the PC on Justice and Constitutional Development. And members can note that the committee will have deliberations on the work that they have done on the 2nd of April 2025. The next slide is slide number 36. Before the same committee, with regards to the appointment of the Human Rights Commissioner, they will deliberate on the 2nd of April on this matter as well. Slide number 38. Slide number 38, we are reporting on the statutory appointment that was before PC on women, children, and persons with disabilities. The committee has actually finalized this appointment on the 11th of March 2025. The next slide is slide number 42. Slide number 42, that relates to the petitions before committees. Before PC on Social Development, we want members to note that the meeting that was scheduled for the 5th of March 2025, it was postponed, and the committee will schedule further. The next slide, the last slide, is slide number 48. This is information that we are presenting to the committee with regards to work done by committees on the state capture recommendations. We're reporting that the PC on Police had a committee meeting on the 5th of March 2025, where they discussed the findings made by, in the state capture report related to SAP's crime intelligence. Thank you very much, members.
Thank you, Dr. Tualo. The next report is the report from the Bills Office.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, honorable members and colleagues. Honorable Chairperson, we concur with the report on the number of bills, which is on slide 3, that are before the NA committees. So we are indicating the 5 new introduced bills that are before Parliament. Honorable Chairperson, I must indicate that the Local Government Municipal Structures Second Amendment Bill B9 of 2025, which is before the Committee on COGTA, it's a private member's bill that was introduced on Wednesday. And the other 4 new introduced bills were introduced on the 12th of March and published on the ATC. The next reporting slide is slide number 4. On slide number 4, Honorable Chairperson, we are indicating as well that the Public Service Commission Bill was passed by the National Assembly and transmitted to the NCOP for concurrence. The next reporting slide is slide number 6. On slide number 6, Honorable Chairperson, these bills were also introduced on the 12th of March, but they were not referred. Let me indicate that these bills will be referred once the fiscal framework and revenue proposals are adopted by both houses, which is they are scheduled to be adopted on the 2nd of April. The next reporting slide is slide number 7. On slide number 7, Honorable Chairperson, we've received 2 draft bills, which is we are working on. The first one, it's a Performing Animals Protection Amendment Bill. It's a private member's bill. The second one, it's Intergovernmental Monitoring Support and Intervention Bill. A proposed Section 76 bill. It's a draft bill that will be introduced as soon as we have finalized working on the bill. The last reporting slide is slide number 11. On slide number 11, we are indicating the number of bills that have been introduced that are part of the 2025 legislative program. So we've got 1 priority bill that has been introduced, which is the ESCOM Debt Relief Amendment Bill B4 of 2025. And we've got 4 mandatory money bills that has been introduced when the budget was introduced. That's all from the Bills Office. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mbata, for that report. Honourable members, I now invite questions of clarity or comment. Honourable Mkalipi.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I just want to get a clarity on the South African Reserve Bank bill. Because according to the status report, the program will be developed following the engagement with the PBO September 24 committee to consider it first term 2025. The first term of 2025 is about to finish. Can you get a status report on that regard, Chair? Thanks.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The Honourable Dagmo.
Thank you very much, Chair, and greetings to everyone on the platform. I just wanted to ask a general question in terms of when we report on bills before committees, and I mean, maybe just to use one example where you have the, say, public sector pension and related bill, you know, we have the object of the bill, and then we have the current status, in this case, committee to schedule. The 2 remaining columns, you know, aim to finish and then consideration by the House. It seems that in many instances, there's no report on that. And I was wondering whether it wouldn't be possible, Chair, for, you know, there to be direct engagement with the committees in regard to actually discussing that issue. I'm not sure if it's a question that if the committee hasn't yet scheduled, they're not able to then answer the question of aim to finish and consideration by the House. But I think it would help if committees, especially where they've actually scheduled an initial discussion, report on when they aim to finish and when there's consideration, because I think that would just assist from a programming point of view to get a sense as to the timing of all of these bills. So that's just a general comment, and I'm not sure if there's a response to that. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Honorable Dagmo. Let me start with the last one first. It is something that my office is attending to, Honorable Dagmo, where I have one-on-one sessions now with chairpersons while they have legislation in front of them. Of course, as mentioned, is that if a briefing hasn't been scheduled yet, then they can't have an aim to finish date. But it is a matter that is receiving attention, and the report from the committee section will be updated accordingly. Is there a response, Dr. Twalo, in terms of the question asked by the Honorable Mkalipi?
Thank you, Chairperson. I will take that matter with the relevant manager and come back and report back to this meeting. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Yes, maybe treat that with a little bit more urgency, please, because the matter is going to and fro, and we need to get certainty in which direction we are moving with that specific bill that has been tabled. It's not good for a bill to be reflected for such a long time, and then there's different reports being given without getting clear direction. I also undertake, Honorable Mkalipi, that I will prioritize and attend to this matter. Just as a general remark, honorable members, may I request the committee section to clearly indicate and to be consistent in terms of the date of the referral of the legislation, so that the programming committee is aware when the bill was referred. And that will also feed into the question or comments that were made by the Honorable Dagmo, so that the committee is very, very clear what the time that it takes, the time frames involved for that bill to move through the National Assembly, at least before it must go to the NCOP. Is there any further questions of clarity or comment? None? We'll then move to the next item on the agenda. Can you flight the agenda, please? The next item on the agenda is the consideration of the parliamentary program. I now hand over to the programming whip.
Thank you very much once again, Chair. Just to go through the first term program, which is in front of us now, being put up on the screen. Okay, if we can stop there. I think we have in front of us, both the National Assembly and NCOP programs. And just to highlight that we have this afternoon at 2:00 in the NCOP questions to the Deputy President. And we know that Friday is essentially our committees in the NA are still on oversight, joint committees in the NCOP, and then going on to week 10. Everyone is aware of the committees which would continue on Tuesday, the 1st of April, and then on Wednesday, the 2nd of April. Colleagues, I think just at this particular point, one thing that needs to be noted in this meeting is that there was a Chief Whip's meeting yesterday where there was a report given, and I'm talking about venue now for the plenary on Wednesday the 2nd, and it was reported that the dome was not available, and then there was a proposal made which was agreed to that we should go for a hybrid session. And then subsequently, I'm not sure if members have seen the communication, but there was communication saying that the dome is now available. And the note also says that basically this committee, the programming committee, needs to resolve that, because as we all know, we have two issues there to consider: the 2025 fiscal framework and the revenue proposals. And then we also have the debate on Human Rights Day. So that issue, I'm sure, Chair, at the end of this report that I'm giving, this committee just needs to confirm that situation. And then on Thursday, we have another plenary, questions for oral reply, cluster 4. I'm not going to go through the details of the NCOP program. And then on Friday, we have a committee day. And then, as we are all aware, we then, as the National Assembly, break for the constituency period from the 7th to the 17th of April. Chair, would you like me to go on to the second term, or shall we just first discuss this particular program and conclude this first term program?
Honorable Dugmore, may I request you just to briefly go on to the next term? You don't need to go into details there because some of those matters could be changed, especially as far as the scheduling of the budget vote debates are concerned. So you can just give us a highlight of what is happening in that term without too much detail, please.
I'll literally just be a minute or two. If you look at the second term, if we can go straight to week 13, as you know, that's an important date, and I think the issue that you raised, Chair, Wednesday the 23rd, your meeting with the chairpersons, and then on Thursday, dealing with then the consideration of the report of the Standing Committee on the Division of Revenue Bill, then actually the second reading debate, go through to week 14. We know about the leave period, which is scheduled there, week 15. Just to refer there to the 6th of May, a debate on Freedom Day, plus the normal items that we would deal with. And then another plenary on the Wednesday, questions for oral reply. Thursday, I think what's just important to note, we have the Deputy President on the 8th of May, questions to the Deputy President, and then a debate on Workers' Day. Friday is clear. Those subjects still need to be sorted out. If we can go on to week 16. And as you say, Chair, I don't think we should go into details. I just want to indicate that, there is the concern that had been raised. We can just stop there, about particularly by smaller parties in regard to their ability to participate in these various debates, because they are clustered in a sense, in 2 sessions. And I understand there may be a proposal around actually creating 3 sessions, but I'm not sure whether, the Speaker's office would want to talk to that. But at the moment, we are scheduled. We can just move on. Those are all in front of us. And issues of venues, I think, will also be sorted out in regard to these mini plenaries. Takes us up to Thursday, the 22nd. We can go right through to week 18. Once again, there, all those mini plenaries scheduled. The 28th of May, we have oral reply starting on at 3 o'clock. That's a peace and security cluster. And then you can just go on to the next slide. We have another plenary, 29th, week 19. We then get to, if we can just focus on the 3rd of June, we then have that debate on vote 2, which is Parliament. And then we have the consideration of those reports. And if we can just also refer members to the 5th of June, where, in fact, on the 4th, we start the debate on vote 1, and then there's resumption of that debate on the 5th of June. If we can, and then Friday, mini plenaries, if we can go on, week 20, and just go on, and then you will see there, that's an important day for the National Assembly, that plenary, which deals with all of those, the first reading, the consideration of the votes and schedules, a very long session. Then we'll have a debate on Youth Day, and then the Youth Parliament. I think there still needs to be a clear report given on that proposal. Then we get to week 21, a normal day on the 17th of June. And then we again do questions for oral reply. Please move on to week number 22, which is again very important to note, like we're having this week. committees and oversight. That's going to take place from the 23rd of June, and then, which I think we have referred to, quite an extended constituency period, starting on the 30th of June and going through to the 4th of August. Chair, I'm not going to take more of the meeting's time, but I do think one of the issues we just need to sort out, besides whatever other issues members may have, is the venue for next week. Thank you.
No, thank you, Honourable Member. Before I identify members on the platform, Mr. Kaso, can you please update us what the official position is around the availability of the dome for next week? Mr. Kaso?
Good morning, House Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members. The official position is that the information we have is that the dome is available for next week.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, I will now identify the hands as received on the platform. The Honourable Ntlangwini, followed by the Honourable Kalipi and the Honourable Koornhof. In that order, please.
Thank you very much, House Chair. House Chair, I just, Mr. Kaso is not giving us a clear indication of the dome. For all we know, it's going to be ready for next week, but we don't know for the other settings. Will we have a dome? And I think we need to and I think for the Chief Whips Forum to even put this matter and bring it back to the programming committee. And part of the resolutions of that meeting of yesterday was that we need to call Public Works to come and account and tell us exactly what is the process and how long and the time frames as to when they will be able to finish up the dome. So we can't make a proper a decision unless we are having those kind of informations yet. But I'm glad that Senate have prevailed to indicate that a dome is available for next week, because the EFF was of the view and have not agreed to the setting of the budget must be virtual. One must first state that, and hence we have written a letter to the Speaker. And I think maybe perhaps the Speaker have applied her mind, or Public Works have come to their senses, either or, to bring the setting of the budget, which is very important to be a physical setting. So we are very appreciative of that. But we need to get a clear indication, House Chair, when until when do we have this dome? When are they going to put in the furniture that they claim that they're going to put in? Because those are the final details that we have said. Hence, Public Works must come and report to the Chief Whip. So we cannot make a decision in the programming committee or put our program and say this venue and that venue and that venue unless we have had an indication from Public Works. So I think that is a bit disingenuous for us to take a decision on venues, but we don't know the status of these venues. And then the last one is the mini plenaries, House Chair. I think we need to get also a report in terms of venues for the mini plenaries. Which venues are we going to use for the mini plenaries that are fully equipped, and what is the capacity of those venues, like we have done last time when we are having the mini plenaries, to sort of get a report as to we're going to use maybe M46, the allocation per party and so forth in those mini plenaries. That will also give us effective time as political parties to deploy and plan our work. Thank you, House Chair.
Thank you. The Honourable, I see the hand of the Honourable Kalipi. Honourable Kalipi, do you still want to have a say? Or are you covered?
Yes, Chair. I just want to say that I'm partly covered. However, Chairperson, I think this is not on. We can't have a deliberate on this issue yesterday extensively in the Chiefs Forum. And we also have been raising our issues that also clearly that we are frustrated by the public works. And then we were told yesterday, some of the members, they even said that we are grandstanding when we raised issues to say that public works can't ambush us. At the same time, they can't fail to come to do the presentation to us as Chiefs Forum. And I agree with Honorable Ntlangweni. As EFF, we didn't agree on hybrid because the matter that is going to be discussed next week is very important. And then, boom, last night we got a letter that says, no, all is well in terms of the dome. So I really think that, Chair, at some point, if we can go back to our minutes, we have raised this issue of public works with the Speaker. And the Speaker also agreed with us that says that public works is not taking us as Parliament very serious. As we speak now, Chairperson, the Parliament is busy building the new Parliament, of which after the handover, the Parliament won't be able to look after that. It will be Public Works. So Public Works must come and tell us what is their plan. What is the budget they were complaining about? What is the budget of the prestige? They must come and tell us here because they think that we are kids. We are not their kids. When we want them to come and account, they don't come to account. They tell us previously, Chair, now we are a witness to say that they are accounting to the Portfolio Committee. So I propose, Chair, that the Secretary to Parliament must tell us what are the services that are provided by Public Works to Parliament in order for us to take a strong decision how to move those services to be under Parliament. We can't go on like this. Late last night, we got a letter to say all is well. While the presentation by Xaso, although it was complete, it was suggested that there's nothing that can be done because there are features that needs to be put in the dome. But at night now, all is well. So therefore, Parliament must take a clear position that the functions that falls under Parliament, including the functions that is now presided over by Public Works, must be taken over by Parliament in order for us to know how to make the Parliament to account to us, to members. It's very shameless as members of Parliament not to know how to deal with situations like this. And it's also disturbed us as members of Parliament to do our work. Today we are told we are not going to be there. Tomorrow we are told, no, go back, like school kids. No, it's not on, Chair. So I'm really strongly suggest that can we get the list of services from the National Secretary to Parliament, which are the services that are provided by Public Works, in order for us to have a discussion to say, how can we get those services to be pushed and to be presided over Parliament so we can have a smooth running of Parliament. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Koornhof.
Good morning, Chairperson and members on the platform. I'm referring to the second term program of Parliament. The programming whip didn't refer to it or highlight it, but the President will be responding to questions for oral reply on Tuesday, the 27th of May. Thank you.
Thank you. That is noted. Honourable Member. Honourable Darkmore.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, the point I'd like to make without getting into a debate, most of us or many of us were in the Chief Whips Forum. It is correct that there was a view not to go for hybrid, but the decision of the committee was to go for hybrid, given the information that was provided. And I also share the frustrations of members to then receive a letter, late last night, which then indicates that the venue is available. But clearly, it seems to me clear that given that the venue is now available, I think, the programming committee needs to confirm that venue is available. But we also did, as some of the honourable members have said, insist that on the morning of Wednesday the 2nd, there's a Chief Whips Forum again, where Public Works needs to come. I think there was even a request that the Minister should be there so that we can actually not deal with this in an ad hoc way, that we need to know how much time is needed to do what else needs to be done to the dome, etc., etc. So I think that meeting on Wednesday is where of the Chief Whips Forum is where we can deal with this issue. And then the last point to make, I think maybe Mr. Castle will respond on the important issue of venues for mini plenaries. But I also just want to inform members that on Friday at 2:00, the Joint Standing Committee on Financial Matters of Parliament is meeting. A number of the parties are represented there, and the actual topic on that agenda for Friday at 2 is the restoration of Parliament, which deals with many of these issues, which I think are difficult ones for us to deal with. So I think it's important that members also participate in that meeting so that these issues of the restoration, the issues of the dome and so on, can also be further discussed by that particular committee, which is responsible for oversight. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Mikalakis.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. Yes, Chair, I don't want to repeat what Honourable Dugmore has said, but I do think that the information that we received last night was not available when we made the decision at the Chief Whips Forum yesterday morning. And I strongly feel that if the dome is available, we should use the dome. And then ultimately, if the dome is not available, use the hybrid option, obviously for reasons of costs. But if the dome is available, like the memo last night indicated, then we should continue in the way that we have. So I would very much support those comments of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaso.
Thank you, Chairperson. On the issue of mini plenaries, honourable members, the venues that we intend using is Good Hope Chamber and M46. As Honourable Dugmore indicated, the intention is to take 2 mini plenaries in the morning and take another 2 from 2:00 to about 4:00, and another 2 from 4:30, 4:45 till 7. So you'll take still 6 mini plenaries, but 2, and we'll use the 2 venues. The second point, House Chair, I would like to indicate is members will recall that at the last session, there were questions that were not replied to. That was public service and minister in the presidency. We have been informed that the Minister for Public Service and Administration is now available for next week. For the presidency, we understand that the minister is not available, but the deputy minister. So we want to recommend that we take public service from the last time. So it would mean that we add 30 minutes to the question time. I'm talking about the 3rd of April. Thank you, House Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Kaso. Honourable members, you had a discussion yesterday in the Chief Whips Forum, and that is a very important forum for consultation purposes. And we usually take our guide from what is being discussed there. And that discussion started because of the possibility that the dome would not be available. The dome is now available. And that is where next week's sessions must take place. Secondly, we must also keep in mind that the Chief Whips Forum, although it's a very important consultative forum, is not a decision-making forum. The programming committee is ultimately the decision-making forum. So the decision is, and I heard the different members speaking, there was nobody who were adversarial to the dome being utilized. So the dome, as it was originally planned, will be the place where the sitting of next week will take place. Honourable members, I now want to also remind the NA table that the request for the numbers per political party in terms of the capacity of the 2 venues that will be used for mini plenaries be shared as soon as possible so that members can plan accordingly. But very importantly, the Chief Whips Forum meeting next week is a very important place to finalize and get the presentation from Public Works and the input from the Secretary to Parliament, because it is unacceptable that we go to and fro all the time and you're not sure. So that when we return after the constituency break of the National Assembly, there is certainty as to what is going to happen. And if any work is going to be done by Public Works, they must give us credible information. In the past, the information that was presented in meetings of the Chief Whips Forum that I attended seemed to be a moving target. It keep on changing all the time. And as Parliament, we must express our disappointment about these type of arrangements, because we make our plans according to the availability of the venues, which is the responsibility of Public Works. And the point raised by the Honourable Nkalipi as to what Parliament is responsible for and what Public Works, what services are provided, should be ventilated when Public Works appear at the Chief Whips Forum, but also on Friday afternoon when the Financial Management of Parliament, the Joint Committee, meet to deliberate on that matter. Can we now move on to the next point, please? The next item on the agenda. The next item is the consideration of the minutes of the 6th of March 2025. Can we flight those minutes, please? Honourable members, we have in front of us the minutes of the last meeting of the National Assembly Programming Committee. It was distributed timeously. It appears now on the screens in front of us. May I request you to firstly look at the minutes and see if there are any corrections that you propose being made to the minutes before I put it up for consideration and adoption. Firstly, in terms of the correctness of those minutes, I don't see any indication. I request thus a member who was part of the meeting to move for the adoption of these minutes, please. Honourable Dagmore.
Thank you very much, Chair. I do so move, and just to indicate that, as we all know, the minutes were circulated timeously. I know it's sometimes an issue, to get through all the reading before the meeting, but I believe the minutes were an accurate reflection of what was discussed, and I move for their adoption. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Is there a member on the platform who want to second for the adoption of the minutes as a true reflection? I don't see any hands. Honourable members, are you still in the meeting?
Chair, I move. Swart here. I have
Thank you, Honourable
my hand is
Swart.
raised. Yeah.
Thank you, Honourable Swart. The minutes have been seconded. I will now, and it's been adopted, I will now ask if there are any matters arising that you wish to highlight or do you want to be responded to. Honourable Swart.
Morning, Chair. Yes, just the matter which I raised at the previous meeting relating to the Concord deadlines, and the Deputy Speaker indicated that she would have a discussion about that mechanism to monitor that, and I presume we'd get a feedback at some stage. We don't need it today, but a feedback given the fact that we have missed, or the Executive and Parliament have missed Concord deadlines with quite severe implications. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaso.
Chairperson, we would like to report that following that discussion, the Speaker has since written a letter to the Deputy President on the matter, urging the Executive to prioritize these issues. So, Speaker will await a response from the Executive. The second point, sir, relates to questions during the leave period. The practice currently is that we don't usually take questions during leave. However, it's a matter that can be discussed in the Chief Whips Forum. And if the view is that there must be a different arrangement, I'm sure that is a matter that is doable. But we propose, Chair, that this matter serves before the Chief Whips Forum next week, and then we can take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaso. May I request that this item be properly referred for consideration by the Chief Whips Forum for next week. Are there any further matters arising? There's no further matters arising. Can we flight the agenda again, please?
Yes, Chair, there is a matter.
I don't see your hand, Honourable Member, but you may continue.
Yeah, no, just on the minute I was asked
Honorable Mkalipi, it seems to me your link is very unstable where you are. So we can't hear what you're saying. Honorable Mkalipi? May I ask the honorable member to text if she can hear us, to put it on the chat platform so that we can see what the intervention is all about. If not, then we will deal with the matter in a subsequent meeting. May we flag the agenda, please? Honorable members, I don't know if there are any announcements, Mr. Kaso, that you wish to make.
No announcements, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. That brings this meeting to an end, and the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Recording stopped.